Hey guys, this is my 2015 Subaru STI, and these are dual catch cans by Radium Engineering, which I will be installing today. Welcome back to Redline TV. So, you're probably wondering, what does a catch can even do, and why should I install one on my car? Well, a catch can, simply as the name refers, catches oil and blow-by from the PCV system in your crankcase, um, and capturing that sludge, basically, from the engine and making sure it doesn't get cycled back into the intake and the throttle body and back into the engine. With a dual catch can setup, it does this from both the PCV system, so the positive crankcase ventilation system, and the CCV side, so the crankcase ventilation system. And it basically stops dirty mixed oil air from re-entering your system, which is referred to as by trapping it in the bottom of these little catch cans, which I will show you. So as you can see here, this is the top of the catch can where it kind of catches everything, circles the air around, and down here is where the oil is actually caught and stored. Um, and with catch cans, you have to typically uh, drain them every 3 to 5,000 miles just to make sure it doesn't build up and spill back into the engine, which is kind of the one downside of running catch cans. So yeah, let's get right into the installation of these. All right, guys, so here's the engine bay of my Subaru. This is also going to be kind of a rough installation guide. This is my first time doing it, so kind of take it with a grain of salt. Look at instructions from Radium if you're installing it, as they have really good step-by-step instructions, which is what I'll be following, as well as looking at other videos, but this can kind of be a rough way to look at it for you. I'm just going to kind of go quickly through some of the more monotonous parts. So first we got to disconnect the battery, just the negative side with the 10 mil. Then we got to remove the intercooler with a few bolts right here and here, and then down there. And then a couple bolts on the sides, and it should just pop out if I'd remove it before to do the PCV valve. And then we will move this sound generation tube off the intake. It's not really important. We're just going to take it out, so we have more room to get to the strut tower behind, which is where we need to bolt the dual catch can setup. And then there's a couple more clips and stuff that are kind of connecting some wires in place that we'll just undo to move things out of the way, so we have more room to route the plumbing into the PCV system, which is located under the intercooler as stated. All right. Okay. Now that we have all the intercooler bolts off, I think I'm going to check behind again. We can just pop it straight out. It does take quite you'll see a little bit of wiggling to get it out, just because the way it's set up next to the firewall and everything, it is kind of jammed in there. But just be gentle when you take it out. I forgot to mention there is also a little tiny bolt by the turbo inlet piping that we're going to have to swap, or take off. So you'll see where that is in a sec. Best suggestion for getting that is just using this. I use kind of like a long extension with an 8 mil on it, just kind of slowly get it out. And make sure you do not take it out all the way. The little bolt, here I'll show you. Right down in there. Don't pull it out all the way, because the clip is really, really hard to get back on. Alright, so now the intercooler is out. What I found worked to get it out pretty quickly. Just tighten the bottom clip on the throttle body and loosen the top one connecting to the intercooler, and it just pops right out. As you can see, a lot more room now that we have to work with. And once we kind of get into there more, you'll see where the PCV setup is, and I can kind of get it more in there. Okay, so now that we have the intercooler out, our next step, according to the instructions from Radium, is going to be taking this little bracket off the strut tower and very, very gently moving some of these wiring out of the way from the engine harness and whatnot. Do not completely remove it as per the instructions. Like, don't unplug it. Just take the clip off that's holding it on the bracket and gently move it out of the way. Alright, so once we have the catch cans installed on the tower back there, as you can see, there's going to be 4mm bolts on the throttle body that we're going to need to take off to get to the PCV system under the throttle body. We'll go ahead and remove that now. Alright guys, so as we're starting to route the plumbing and everything to the PCV valve, we're going to disconnect the PCV valve hoses, including the turbo inlet connector and the ones going in and out of the crankcase. The white piece, which is shown here, is what we're going to keep on the connector. You're just going to put a little nipple on that. And then I will show a picture of the piping of how it should look on the original PCV valve connector. So you're going to want to keep that little three-way T that originally comes on the car. And then as shown in the picture, you're going to route the plumbing going in and out of that T to the catch cans. Okay, now as we're finishing up, the 1/2-inch plumbing that we have left over is going to go in from the top of the catch can into that like second black hard metal line by the intercooler, and then we're going to take that 5/8 1/2-inch kind of combination piece that we made earlier, and we're going to bring that up to the this like 1/2-inch plumbing that we have. We're going to make an incision, put one of the triangle T's in between those, and then connect the 5/8 1/2-inch piece combo that we made into that T. It'll kind of show you a little bit. And later down, the instructions do a really good job of showing it too. And then that should be going to the top and the side of the catch can, facing towards the opening of the engine bay. Alright, so now that we got the plumbing situation figured out, this is kind of what it should look like. from the PCV valve up to the catch cans. As you can see, the plumbing's coming out through. I kind of routed it back to the firewall and kind of snake around. And you can see kind of where it connects to the side and the top of the catch cans here. And this is kind of what the plumbing overall should look like. Yours might be a little different just for engine space and whatnot, just because the space in the engine is a little bit different for every EJ. But yeah, after this, we're gonna go ahead and connect everything back together and kind of finish putting everything back to where it should go. Alright guys, so we just finished up putting the intercooler back on. So this is kind of what it should look like all back together with all the piping going where it should go. For this T piping, it's best to disconnect it, then put the intercooler on first, then reconnect the piping. It just makes everything go together a lot easier. Yeah, just this is what it should look like. I left my heat shield off. You might have some extra parts, but Radium says that just due to the different engine bays and kind of setups of each of the EJs. But yeah, we will finish off this video now. All right guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video helped you guys kind of as a step-by-step guide, as there's not much out there for installing the Radium catch cans on the V8 chassis STI. If it helped you guys, let me know, leave a comment, maybe like or subscribe, help support the channel, help us grow. Appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.